Have you ever wondered why some seniors in their 70s and 80s cherish the quiet of their own homes over frequent social visits? Through the heartfelt stories of Uncle Chu and Miss Kim, we uncover the emotional wisdom behind this choice. Tales of joy, regret, and lessons learned that will tug at your heartstrings. Join us as we explore 7 compelling reasons why limiting visits can bring peace and deepen connections in your golden years. Watch until the end to discover how these insights can transform the way you nurture your relationships and find true contentment in life. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Respecting personal boundaries brings peace. Human connections are the heartbeat of a fulfilling life, especially in our later years, when the tapestry of friendships and family ties becomes even more precious. Yet, there's a delicate balance between nurturing those bonds and inadvertently crossing unseen lines. Uncle Chu, a spirited 78-year-old with a twinkle in his eye and a zest for life, learned this lesson through a bittersweet experience that reshaped his understanding of relationships. Uncle Chu had recently reconnected with a high school classmate, Mr. Lee, who lived in the same vibrant retirement community. Their reunion was like a spark reigniting old memories. Shared laughter over teenage antics, stories of first loves, and the thrill of rediscovering a kindred spirit after decades apart. When Mr. Lee invited Uncle Chu to his home for drinks and a home-cooked meal, Uncle Chu was over the moon. He arrived with a bottle of his favorite rice wine and a homemade side dish of pickled radish, eager to dive into nostalgia. The evening was filled with warmth, clinking glasses, and the kind of joy that makes time feel irrelevant. What started as a one-off gathering quickly turned into a cherished ritual. Every weekend, Uncle Chu would show up at Mr. Lee's doorstep, his arms laden with new dishes. Kimchi pancakes one week, sesame-dressed greens the next, his infectious enthusiasm lighting up the room. For Uncle Chu, these visits were a lifeline, a way to combat the quiet loneliness that sometimes crept into his days. He assumed his friend felt the same, as Mr. Lee always welcomed him with a smile and a hearty clap on the back. But beneath the surface, subtle cracks began to form. Mr. Lee's wife, Mrs. Lee, started to withdraw during these visits. Her smiles grew tighter, her responses shorter. Uncle Chu, caught up in the joy of reconnection, didn't notice the shift at first. He mistook her polite hospitality for genuine enthusiasm, unaware that his frequent presence was disrupting the delicate rhythm of their household. One evening, Mr. Lee pulled Uncle Chu aside, his voice heavy with reluctance. "Chu, we love your company, but these weekly visits, they're a bit much for us. My wife needs her quiet time, and the kids feel we're not getting enough family space." The words hit Uncle Chu like a cold wave. His heart sank as he realized his eagerness had blinded him to their boundaries. He hadn't meant to impose. He'd simply been carried away by the joy of rediscovery. The moment was a poignant wake-up call. From then on, Uncle Chu made a conscious effort to check in before visiting, spacing out his time with the Lees to ensure it remained a treat rather than a burden. He learned that in our later years, respecting others' personal space isn't just about physical presence. It's about honoring their emotional and mental sanctuaries. This respect fosters mutual peace, deepens trust, and prevents the unintended hurt that can fray even the strongest bonds. Uncle Chu's story is a gentle reminder to cherish connections but to tread lightly in others' homes, ensuring every visit strengthens relationships rather than straining them. 2. Avoiding unintended disturbances. Every home has its rhythm, a unique cadence shaped by the habits, needs, and routines of its inhabitants. For seniors in their 70s and 80s, these rhythms often become sacred, a carefully choreographed dance of rest, reflection, and small joys that sustain their energy and well-being. Visiting, even with the best intentions, can sometimes feel like tossing a stone into a still pond, sending ripples that disrupt this delicate balance. Uncle Chu's story illustrates how even well-meaning gestures can unsettle the harmony of a household, offering a lesson in the power of restraint. For Uncle Chu, those weekend visits to Mr. Lee's home were a highlight of his week, a chance to escape the solitude of his apartment and bask in the glow of friendship. But for the Lees, hosting wasn't always as effortless as it seemed. Mrs. Lee, who managed chronic fatigue, relied on weekends to recharge after a week of errands and family obligations. The arrival of a guest, even one as beloved as Uncle Chu, meant tidying the house, preparing snacks, and summoning the energy to be on as a host. What Uncle Chu saw as a joyful gathering was, for her, an interruption to her carefully planned rest. The children, too, felt the strain, as their parents' attention was diverted from family time to entertaining. This dynamic isn't unique to Uncle Chu's story. For many seniors, energy reserves are finite, and hosting can be physically and emotionally taxing. A single visit might disrupt a nap, delay a favorite routine like gardening or reading, or throw off the quiet rituals that anchor their days. Likewise, being a guest can be equally draining. Traveling to someone's home, navigating social expectations, and adjusting to another's environment can sap the vitality of even the most energetic senior. Uncle Chu, reflecting on his friend's confession, realized that his visits had created unintended ripples, disturbing the tranquility of both households. By choosing to limit visits, seniors can preserve the sanctity of their routines while honoring those of others. A well-timed visit, perhaps planned with mutual agreement, becomes a cherished gift rather than an obligation. Uncle Chu began calling ahead to gauge the Lee's availability, ensuring his presence was welcomed rather than endured. He also invited them to his home on occasion, balancing the dynamic and giving both parties control over their space. This shift transformed their interactions into moments of genuine connection, free from the weight of disruption. The lesson is clear. By respecting the rhythms of others' lives, seniors can ensure that every encounter feels like a shared joy, not a burden, fostering harmony for all involved. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Words can wound without warning. Words have a unique power. They can uplift, connect, or unintentionally wound, especially in the close-knit settings of family or community gatherings. For Miss Kim, a vivacious 75-year-old with a knack for storytelling, this truth became painfully clear during a seemingly innocent neighborhood chat. Known for her quick wit and infectious laughter, Miss Kim was a beloved figure at her community's weekly gatherings, where neighbors swapped stories over steaming cups of tea and homemade snacks. But one rainy afternoon, a casual remark she made sparked a storm that left her questioning the risks of frequent social visits. It happened during a cozy gathering at a neighbor's home. The conversation turned to family, and Miss Kim, caught up in the moment, made a light-hearted comment about her daughter-in-law's tendency to overseason her kimchi. To Miss Kim, it was a harmless observation meant to elicit a chuckle. But words have a way of traveling, and by the next day, her comment had been relayed, distorted and stripped of context, to her daughter-in-law, Sujin. What Miss Kim intended as a playful remark was received as a pointed criticism, igniting hurt and resentment. Sujin felt judged, and the sting of the comment rippled through the family. Miss Kim's son, caught in the middle, confronted his mother, his voice sharp with frustration. "Mom, you can't just say things like that. It's caused a huge mess." Miss Kim was devastated. She hadn't meant to offend, but the damage was done. The once warm dynamic with her daughter-in-law turned frosty, and family gatherings grew tense. As she reflected on the incident, Miss Kim realized that her frequent visits to the neighborhood gatherings had made her too comfortable, loosening her guard and leading to careless words. The more time she spent in these settings, the more likely she was to say something that could be misinterpreted or taken out of context. It was a painful lesson in the fragility of relationships and the unintended consequences of unguarded speech. For seniors, limiting visits can be a safeguard against such misunderstandings. Fewer gatherings mean fewer opportunities for offhand remarks to spark conflict, allowing relationships to remain strong and unburdened by missteps. Miss Kim didn't stop attending her neighborhood teas entirely, but she became more selective, choosing moments when she felt rested and mindful. She also made a point to check in with her daughter-in-law directly, rebuilding trust through open, intentional communication. Her experience underscores a broader truth. Words, even well-intentioned ones, can wound without warning. By pacing social interactions, seniors can protect their relationships, ensuring that every conversation strengthens bonds rather than risking rifts. 4. Economic differences can sting. As we age into our 70s and 80s, financial circumstances among peers often diverge significantly, even within tight-knit social circles. These economic differences can subtly, or not so subtly, strain relationships, introducing feelings of envy, inadequacy, or discomfort that undermine the joy of connection. For instance, imagine a senior visiting a lifelong friend's home, only to be greeted by an opulent setting. Polished hardwood floors, expansive windows with a view of a meticulously landscaped garden, and furnishings that exude wealth. The visitor, whose own home may be modest or whose fixed income barely covers necessities, might feel a pang of self-consciousness or resentment. The gleaming surroundings can serve as an unintentional reminder of their financial struggles, making it hard to focus on the warmth of the friendship. Conversely, hosting can be equally fraught. A senior might worry that their simple apartment, with its worn furniture or outdated decor, won't measure up to the expectations of a wealthier friend. They may feel compelled to overextend themselves, perhaps splurging on an elaborate meal or hiding personal items that betray their financial reality, just to avoid perceived judgment. These moments of comparison, whether as a guest or host, can erode the authenticity of the interaction, replacing mutual affection with a quiet sense of unease or competition. To sidestep these emotional pitfalls, seniors can choose to meet on neutral ground, such as a cozy cafe, a community center, or a local park. These settings level the playing field, allowing conversations to flow without the backdrop of economic disparity. A shared slice of pie at a diner or a stroll through a botanical garden shifts the focus back to what truly matters: the laughter, stories, and shared history that define the relationship. For those who prefer even less exposure, embracing solitude can be a powerful way to preserve peace of mind. By minimizing opportunities for comparison, seniors can protect their emotional well-being and cultivate connections that prioritize genuine camaraderie over material differences. This approach not only fosters healthier relationships but also reinforces self-acceptance, allowing individuals to find contentment in their circumstances without the shadow of external benchmarks. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. Solitude as a wellspring of emotional resilience. Contrary to common misconceptions, solitude in one's 70s and 80s is not synonymous with loneliness. Rather, it can be a profound source of strength, self-discovery, and joy. Take Miss Kim, for example, an 82-year-old retiree who has found solace in her nightly ritual of watching classic Korean dramas. Curled up with a warm blanket and a steaming mug of chamomile tea, she immerses herself in familiar storylines that spark nostalgia and comfort. These quiet evenings are not a sign of isolation but a deliberate choice, a sanctuary where she can recharge without the demands of social obligations or the need to perform for others. For Miss Kim, solitude is a space to reconnect with herself, free from external expectations. As we age, the frenetic pace of earlier decades naturally slows, and the desire for constant social interaction often diminishes. The pressure to attend every gathering, keep up with group activities, or maintain a bustling social calendar fades, giving way to a deeper appreciation for quieter, more introspective moments. Solitude allows seniors to honor their rhythms, whether that means tending to a small herb garden on a balcony, losing themselves in the pages of a historical novel, or savoring the simple ritual of brewing a perfect cup of tea while watching the sunrise. These activities, though solitary, are far from empty. They are rich with meaning and provide a sense of agency over one's time and space. Moreover, solitude fosters emotional resilience, equipping seniors to navigate the inevitable challenges of later life, such as the loss of a spouse, close friends, or physical independence. By cultivating a strong inner world, individuals develop the capacity to find joy and stability within themselves, rather than relying solely on external relationships. For instance, a widower who has learned to cherish his morning walks, where he reflects on memories or listens to birdsong, may find it easier to process grief than someone who has not built such a foundation of self-reliance. Solitude also offers space for introspection, allowing seniors to process life's complexities, set personal goals, or rediscover passions that may have been sidelined during busier years. This self-directed time is not about withdrawing from the world but about balancing connection with independence. Seniors who embrace solitude often find that it enhances their social interactions, as they bring a renewed sense of self to their relationships. They engage with others not out of necessity or fear of loneliness but from a place of fullness and authenticity. By viewing solitude as a powerful ally rather than a state to avoid, seniors can build a reservoir of inner strength that sustains them through life's transitions, enabling them to face both joys and hardships with grace and confidence. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 6. Physical and mental energy are precious. As we age, both physical and mental energy become increasingly valuable resources that require careful management. For seniors, the act of hosting guests or visiting others' homes demands significant effort, which can quickly deplete their reserves. Preparing a home for visitors, whether it's cleaning, cooking, or simply organizing the space, can be physically taxing, especially for those dealing with mobility issues, chronic pain, or age-related health conditions. Similarly, traveling to someone else's home involves navigating unfamiliar environments, adapting to different routines, and expending energy on social interactions, all of which can be draining. Take Uncle Chu, for example. In his late 70s, he cherished his weekly visits to his longtime friend's house, but over time, he noticed how exhausting these trips had become. The drive, the small talk with his friend's family, and the effort to keep up with the household's bustling energy left him feeling depleted for days afterward. He also observed that his friend's family seemed equally strained, juggling their responsibilities while accommodating his visits. It became clear that these frequent gatherings, though well-intentioned, were taking a toll on everyone involved. For seniors, conserving energy is not just about physical stamina, it's also about protecting mental and emotional well-being. Social overload, especially in environments that feel demanding or unfamiliar, can lead to stress, anxiety, or even feelings of inadequacy if seniors feel they can't keep up. By being intentional about how and where they spend their social energy, seniors can prioritize activities that bring genuine joy and fulfillment. For instance, Uncle Chu found that meeting his friend at a quiet cafe or a local park allowed for a meaningful connection without the physical and emotional strain of home visits. These neutral spaces provided a relaxed setting where he could engage at his own pace. Seniors can also conserve energy by setting boundaries around the frequency and duration of social engagements. Instead of committing to lengthy visits or hosting large gatherings, they might opt for shorter, more manageable meetups, a morning walk with a neighbor, a brief coffee date, or a video call with grandchildren. These choices allow seniors to maintain their independence and prioritize self-care, ensuring they have the energy to enjoy the activities that matter most to them, whether it's gardening, reading, or spending quality time with loved ones. By honoring their physical and emotional limits, seniors can make every moment count, focusing on experiences that replenish rather than exhaust them. 7. Deepening true connections. As we move into our 70s and 80s, the nature of friendships and social connections often shifts. For many seniors, like Uncle Chu and Miss Kim, the realization dawns that fewer visits do not equate to fewer friendships. Rather, they pave the way for deeper, more meaningful relationships. With age comes a heightened appreciation for authenticity and intention in social interactions. By being selective about when, where, and how they connect with others, seniors can focus their time and energy on relationships that truly enrich their lives. Uncle Chu, for instance, initially worried that reducing his visits to his friend's house might weaken their bond. However, he discovered that meeting less frequently but in more intentional settings, like a leisurely lunch at a favorite restaurant or a quiet afternoon chatting on a park bench, allowed for deeper conversations and a stronger connection. These moments, free from the distractions and obligations of hosting or being a guest, fostered a sense of closeness that felt more authentic and fulfilling. Similarly, Miss Kim, who had always been a social butterfly, found that scaling back her commitments to large group gatherings allowed her to nurture her closest friendships. A single heartfelt conversation with a dear friend over tea became more meaningful than a dozen obligatory visits filled with small talk. Choosing quality over quantity in relationships also helps seniors avoid the strain of overstepping boundaries or navigating misunderstandings. Frequent visits, especially in someone else's home, can sometimes lead to unintended friction, whether it's differing expectations about hospitality, household routines, or personal space. By opting for neutral, low-pressure settings, seniors can enjoy their interactions without the risk of feeling like an imposition or causing discomfort. A cozy cafe, a community center, or even a virtual call can provide the perfect backdrop for connection without the logistical or emotional complexities of home-based visits. Moreover, intentional connections allow seniors to align their social lives with their values and priorities. In their 70s and 80s, many seniors find that their most cherished relationships are those built on mutual respect, shared history, and genuine care. By focusing on these bonds, they can create memories that are both meaningful and sustainable. For example, Miss Kim began hosting a monthly book club with her closest friends, where they discussed literature over light refreshments in a relaxed setting. These gatherings became a highlight of her month, offering intellectual stimulation and emotional warmth without overwhelming her. Ultimately, the shift toward deeper connections reflects a broader truth about aging. Every interaction is an opportunity to celebrate life's richness. By choosing quality over quantity, seniors like Uncle Chu and Miss Kim can cultivate relationships that feel like treasures. Moments of connection that leave them uplifted, valued, and truly seen. In this stage of life, it's not about how many friends you have or how often you see them. It's about making every encounter a meaningful one. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey through the stories of Uncle Chu and Miss Kim, where we've explored 7 heartfelt reasons why limiting visits in your 70s and 80s can foster peace, respect, and stronger connections. Their experiences have shown us the value of boundaries, careful words, and the beauty of solitude in our golden years. So, what's one lesson that resonated with you today? How will you bring this wisdom into your own life? We'd love for you to share one thing you've learned and plan to practice in the comments below. Your insights mean so much to us. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul.